Welcome, welcome everyone to the 112th edition of the Home Theater Hub. We got some of our usuals here. Mr. Ike, what's going on, sir?
I barely made it, but I'm glad I'm here. So I still beat Paul. So that's good.
Yes, you did beat Paul. I don't know where Paul's
I
MIA
know that's
today.
a first. Oh.
We might need to put out an APB on him or something.
He went for a beer run.
And we got Mr. Abe back this week. What's up, Abe? How are you, sir?
Hey, doing great, man. Glad to be back. Missed you guys.
Look at this professional setup, Ike. You see this? The guy's trying to make us look bad.
I know.
I'm learning from you guys. You guys are the one who planted this bug in me. So
we just need to bring down the brightness a tad with the ISO on that camera.
Okay.
We just need to bring it down closer to 120 somewhere. I can almost tell.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need your help on that because I did not know. I just got this camera, so I've been like crash course trying to learn how to get it right. So yeah. I'll do.
Yeah, he said his lights were at like.
And then we might be able to put those lights so we don't have it right in your glass.
Yeah,
we'll walk through it, but it's
on one and 5% on the other. And I still
this guy's watching on camera, man. So we just want to talk.
Well, last week I had a tan, or last time I had it. Now I'm like too bright.
Yeah, last week you did. Last time you were in the Bahamas somewhere.
I'm getting it. Yeah. Might need some help, Mike.
Yeah,
hey, Paul.
We'll talk about it.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Paul? How are you, sir?
Good.
I almost sent Kansas Speedy to come find you.
I was a little late out of the gym, so it took me a little bit longer to
I'll
get
keep
over
my
here.
comments to myself.
Yeah. Me too.
And then we got a new guest today, Mr. Gary. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Gary. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Great to have you on the show. Gary is a speaker designer from GTL Sound Labs, so I'm excited because we've had you on the we've had your speakers on the show before, not you personally, but Mr. Lull was on the show, and he showed us a new brand of speakers, that weren't too familiar with. But I tell you what, I was very impressed with them when we were looking at them on the website then, and we'll go through them today, with you. So so happy that you decided to join us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
For sure.
Yeah, so, like I said, we're not that well known, but we've been in the business for 50 years.
Well, from your resume, you sent me a couple of celebs that you've been dealing with that we can't mention. So,
no.
So yeah, no, definitely.
Certain ones you can, but the ones that I sent you, no.
Yeah, for sure. So we will definitely respect their privacy, and because I don't want to get sued. So
no.
But no.
I don't mind getting sued. I just don't want to be broke after it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You need a good lawyer, right? Hire Matlock. Oh man. Yeah, no. So we definitely appreciate you joining us. So we'll be talking speakers later on. So Paul, I hope you can fill the week for us, because I can tell you it was pretty bad for me. So were you able to partake in any movies or any TV shows this week?
I did watch one, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
See, I put you on the spot. You wrote it down last week, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't write it down this week, so it's one of those like I watch a lot of stuff, and mostly I watch a lot of instructional YouTube, but movies I watch to be entertained. But man, I for the life of me cannot remember what I watched.
Maybe Jessica will remind you.
She totally would know. She would have to message me on Facebook because I can't access my phone while I'm on it.
Yeah, Jessica, please come on the show. You can take Paul's place.
You can be Paul's secretary.
No, she needs to take his place.
Oh man,
yeah,
she probably would be able to take my place and remember everything.
Man,
yeah, I really don't remember, and I know I watched something. And
we'll have to bring her on for Jessica's movie review segment.
It was pretty good. I will be
I think we need
watching.
to. That's something we need to do. Have a Jessica review segment,
Yeah,
There you go.
like a 5-minute
It
segment.
was
Yeah.
Seabiscuit.
It's gonna be like, this is what Paul watched last week.
yeah, yeah. This is what he doesn't remember.
So see,
Uh,
she says she never remembers either. So
Oh,
now
okay. Well,
now we're really screwed.
yeah. Now we're done for. Now there's nothing.
All right, so it obviously wasn't that memorable. So we'll move on.
No.
Mr. Ike, what about you, sir?
I did not get to watch any movies, but I did buy one that I'm hoping to watch this weekend. So, look, I'm starting to think
The Dead.
The Dead. There we
Yeah.
go.
it's John. Yeah, it's a Criterion Collection.
There you go.
It's
Nice.
an old John Huston's. It's the old. My lights are reflecting all over it, but yeah.
Let me maximize that. There we
There you
go.
go.
Yep. So,
All right, that's a
Looking
nice
forward
looking
to it.
cover.
yep.
Man.
It's a release or a re-release. It's an old classic movie.
Yeah, I don't think you need.
1987.
I don't think you need to buy the Kaleidoscape because I mean all the movies you watch are from 19.
Yeah, it's a 1987 classic, so you can see, it's a good remake. So, yeah, looking forward to watching it this weekend along with my other backlogs. So,
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So the only thing I got to watch was the Super Bowl. So that it's been one of those kind of weeks for me. I was in town, but out of town. So I had a meeting at work for 2 days. Luckily, it was just in Miami. So, but they told me to get a room anyway because they were having dinner and open bar and stuff like that for our people. So I wound up staying there overnight one night. So that cut into my movie watching. And then obviously Sunday we watch a lot of movies on Sunday or Sunday night, and Super Bowl took the precedence on that day. So and my wife was working from literally like 7 a.m. to about 8:30, just about every single night, all last week up until just yesterday. So it was I was on daddy duty. So one of the times, like every 8 or 9 weeks, my wife has to do admissions at the hospital. So she said I'm on total daddy duty. So Abe, we're hoping that you got a movie that you can talk about.
it's so
I
funny 'cause-
feel like I watched something as well, but don't remember what it was. And it's one of
Yeah, this is
Okay,
the old age
we're gonna skip this segment, guys. in the
in
chat,
the chat, tell us what you watched, please. Please don't tell us nothing.
in the chat. Sorry, guys, we can't be there for you for the movies this week. So
Yeah, we bombed that one.
all right, Mr. Gary, how about you?
I watched 2 movies that you want something about.
Yeah,
that.
hey, here we go. Let's talk about them for sure.
Well, they're old. One
That's
of
fine.
them was the original Top Gun,
All right.
Nice.
and then I did it against Top Gun: The Maverick. And Top Gun, the original, was done by Tony Scott. The soundtrack is wonderful, but the new one may have a better plot. But the soundtrack was terrible, and whoever did the recording did not do a good job.
Okay. Well, we're gonna hear. Top Gun Maverick was quite a demo scene for the times.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And all the CEDIA and M-Wave and all the events that I've gone to. So we're gonna have to get your opinion on that and why. Why do you say
Well,
that?
I'll tell you the why. Like the explosions were just not there. I mean, if you take the original Top Gun, I don't know if anybody's watched the original Top Gun. If you
Of
watch
course.
it,
Of course.
when those missiles hit, it rocks the house.
Okay.
And the other ones does, it's just thud. It's just not much there. Like I
Okay.
was saying, it's like I really liked Maverick Top Gun. I thought it was a very good movie. I thought in some ways it actually had a better plot line than the original one did.
Mm-hmm.
But the sound effects, I don't think were near as good.
I see. Okay.
I do remember the movie I watched. And you're right. I didn't really. I was like, I know I watched something. I only watched one. It was.
Did Jessica just pass you a piece of paper to remind you?
No, she couldn't remember either. It was A Real Pain. Have you ever heard
Real
of that?
Pain? No, I've not
Yeah.
heard of that.
Sounds
It
like
was-
why you couldn't
Sounds like
remember
something my
it,
wife
'cause
calls
it's
me
a
all the
real
time.
pain.
Yeah.
That's probably why you don't remember. 'cause
Yeah,
it's a real
exactly. Let me. I think that's what the name of it was. Yeah, A Real Pain. That's what it was. It's
Okay.
got Jesse Eisenberg in it, and it's about Jewish struggles, and it was interesting, but the ending was just like weird, and it was basically a whole movie about someone's emotions. So yeah, that's what it was.
Okay,
I was
so
like,
it's
man,
got-
it took me. I was like, I know I watched something. What the heck was it? What was it?
It's got the guy that played in what was that? Facebook, right?
Yeah, the Facebook
Yeah.
guy.
He's the
You know, it's
Facebook-
funny. Every time I see it, guys, the only movie I relate or correlate him to is the Facebook movie.
Yeah.
He's stuck with me on that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's
So,
see what
yeah.
else he's done.
Oh, he's done tons of stuff, man.
Oh, Kieran Culkin's in that movie. That's interesting.
Yeah, I remember the Now You See Me. So he was in those. He was
Yeah.
in Zombieland. Wow,
Yeah, that's the one that
Oh, that's
I
right, he was
always.
in
I didn't realize that. I forgot that. And I love Zombieland. You know why?
Why?
Because they go to Tallahassee. I'm a Florida State fan, fellas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I lived there for 20 years. They go to Tallahassee for some Twinkies.
Anyways, so it wasn't as many movies as and it wasn't really like
Oh, he was in Superman versus Batman.
it was a story movie, and I guess if you could relate a little more, it would probably be a lot more impactful for you. So, but
I didn't realize he was in Suicide Squad either. Oh,
Well,
man.
Anyway,
Zack Snyder's Justice League, really?
yeah, he was he's
done a lot of movies. God damn, I
he's
really-
Lex Luthor in that.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's a huge actor. Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor for sure. For sure.
So
So I didn't realize that he was in that many movies.
a lot of people don't. I get
Oh,
him, and there's one other guy that's kind of like him that looks a little bit like him. It kind of has the same mannerisms a little bit. But he was in. Oh, never mind. I'm blanking on it. It's like a real life anime thing where they're sword fighting. I forgot what the heck. Where he's like a video game character or something, but he's real life and he's
Pilgrim, Mark Pilgrim.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Mark Pilgrim versus the
So,
World. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up for something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I
So,
like
Abe,
that movie so too.
so Abe, you didn't have you didn't have a movie, right?
No, I didn't.
So
I
what
didn't,
home theater related did you do? Did you do anything home theater related?
Well, I was in North Carolina getting a theater built for a client over there. Watched them put up drywall. That was exciting.
That was like watching paint dry, right?
Yeah. So
I'm sure it's a little quicker than watching Don put up drive.
but it was fun. They put 2 layers of drywall up with green glue, and they did all the things right. So I was just there making sure they were doing things right. But the crew that we had hired did a really good job. And so while they were putting drywall up, I said, well, I'm going to upgrade this network. So I put Wi-Fi, I put access points throughout the house and beefed up their network. So next time when we go there to put the theater in, the network's a lot more robust. So just
did you go
getting
with
prepared
for
to put
that?
that theater in.
What did you go with? What network?
That's an Arachnus. So we have
Okay.
Arachnus routers, switches, and then their access points. And then we put, because it's a cabin up in the mountains of North Carolina, you can't really rewire this house. Luckily, they had floodlights all the way around the house. So we replaced all the floodlights with those Ring 4K floodlights.
Okay.
And it made it super simple. We put it all on, and they look great. So now
Yeah.
they can see all the way around their house. And
Yeah, I have the same thing for my mother-in-law's house. Yep.
Yeah, it was a simple solution that worked out perfect. And they were ecstatic because they never had cameras before in this cabin, this vacation home, and so now they're loving it. So,
That's
and
awesome.
soon they'll have a theater there, so they'll be going there a lot more often.
Yep. No sense in reinventing solutions that already exist, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and they couldn't be happier. Yeah,
It's awesome.
and it's a good simple solution. And let me tell you what, these 4K Ring cameras are so much better than the first generation, which I have here. So it made me want to come back and rip all my stuff out and put the new stuff in.
Yeah, I did that because my mother-in-law, she lives in Miami, and well, most of the time her house is in Miami. Most of the time she's at our place. So I put cameras on all four corners and right above her door. Same thing, the floodlight cameras.
Yeah, they
You know,
they do the
so-
trick. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, we were happy with them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, Mr. Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little back history. What got you into sound? What into speaker design? How did this come about?
Well, to be honest with you, it was kind of by accident. My first degree I ever got was in cinematography and photography. And I was running a small photography company, and there was a bus company over, near where the photography place was, and they had Marshall Tucker's tour bus, and they were trying to get somebody to do the speakers. And I'd always been building speakers since I was a kid, and so I said, okay, yeah, I will. I'll talk to you about doing it. And I ended up doing that. It was the only mobile thing I ever did, but it got me really interested in the design aspect of it. I don't know if any of y'all ever remember Raj Rogers, but I used to know Raj Rogers pretty well years ago. And so that's why I was using some of the stuff he designed that went into that bus. Does anybody know who Raj Rogers is?
I do not.
I'm not familiar with him.
No.
He was the main speaker designer for Macintosh
Okay.
many moons ago.
Oh, wow. Gosh.
Yeah, and back when Macintosh made real speakers.
Mm.
When Raj left the company, Macintosh speakers pretty much disappeared from the high quality area that they were.
Right.
But that's kind of how I got into it initially, and then I ended up getting an engineering, working on some engineering and stuff, and so I just been designing stuff. That what makes GTL a little different from a lot of the other companies out there is that I design my components, and then they're built to my specifications. So I'm not building on somebody else's design, which also makes it a little more expensive, because if you're using somebody else's design, then you can just duplicate it easily. And like I said, there were about 8 companies when I started that were actually manufacturing their own speakers when I actually started manufacturing stuff. Now there is 40,000 speaker people who supposedly make speakers out there. And so, but I would still say there's less than 10% who design their own stuff. Most of it's using somebody else's or building on somebody else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Miguel has a question. He says, did RBH design the speaker cabinets for Macintosh back in the day? I wouldn't know that, to be honest with you. I don't know the answer.
What was that question?
Did RBH design the speaker cabinets for Macintosh back in the days? I don't know that.
Not to my knowledge. They may have after Raj left, but when they were originally, they were designed in when Gal was still there. They were still being and Raj Rogers. Everything was built and designed there. So to my knowledge, no, it was not initially. Now they may have eventually gone on, because Macintosh has changed over the years. Macintosh has changed hands so many times. I love their older stuff, and I have a bunch of their vintage stuff, but I'm not so crazy about the newest stuff they have out there.
So RBH was founded in
stuff, but it's just not what it used to be.
It says here RBH was founded in 1976, so I'm not sure how far back,
I didn't even think they were that old.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
1976. So on the, but yeah, no, I mean,
No, and like I said, I'm not sure, but I know that back originally when I first started talking with them 50 years ago, it was not. They were doing their own designing of their own cabinets.
Yeah. So Gary, I mean, you talked about, you know, starting off in video, but I mean, obviously if you were building speakers previous to that, what, you know, what got you into being even, you know, tinkering and, you know, taking the time to try to design speakers prior to you even getting into the you know, the video side?
Well, what got me into speakers initially is that I kept seeing all these very expensive speakers that didn't sound very good. You're paying a lot of money. They really didn't sound that great, you know. And so I said, I think I could do better. And that's kind of how even when I was, you know, a teenager, you know, or so, I was buying, you know, particular brands of speakers and then building my own crossover networks and stuff and making them sound good, you know, was, you know, and that's kind of the reason that we're a little different from a lot of the other companies out there is because I still do everything, you know, any of the AP series, SB series, they're all hand built. They're hand done, you know, and so I still do all the little, you know, things that made them done. Like I said earlier in the thing before we started is that basically up until 2005, all I did was custom speakers. We did custom speakers for anybody, the elite who really wanted something that sounded good. Basically, we started off truthfully as an audiophile, 2-channel audiophile company. And in the mid 80s, I did a reviewing room for Tony Stark, the person who did the original Top Gun. I did his reviewing room. And because he was looking for something extraordinary, he wanted something that really sounded good so he could in his preview room. And so that's kind of where, you know, I got into the theater kind of world or the reviewing room kind of world. But most of mine has always been 2-channel until 2005. It's always basically been reviewing listening rooms.
Okay.
Wow.
So what as far as like speaker design, right? What are you looking at? You know, and obviously I don't want you to give away your trade secrets here, but you know, what are you looking for in a speaker, like a driver? You know, if you're choosing a driver, a mid-range, or a tweeter, what are some of the key factors that you're looking for when you're choosing, or do you build your own drivers also?
I do my own drivers, yes.
Okay, so what are you looking for when you buy a surround or when you buy voice corals or whatever, you know, whatever you're putting together, right? When you're putting that speaker together, what qualities are you looking for in some of that stuff?
Well, I'm looking, okay, basically when I'm designing designing a woofer, I'm looking at how the voice coils are done, how they're wrapped, how many levels of the formers, the spiders. Then I also am very cautious on the type of surrounds that I use because you can have a rubber surround, they can say they're rubber, and then there's Broodling rubber. One's 5 times as expensive as the other if it's real Broodling rubber. You know, there's different. I look for the quality things that actually will stand up because my speakers last forever. Pretty much, I don't. In all my years of doing this, I've never had a speaker someone said I'd like to return this because I don't like how it sounds, and that, you know, and that's pretty hard to do in 50 years to find somebody. So, you know, I don't like how that sounds. You know.
So what about
happened.
have you ever had anyone blow any you know, blow any of your drivers or, you know,
Well, I'm going to answer that question in a hilariously funny thing. I had an installer who plugged up one of my speakers to a 110 circuit and threw the circuit breaker on. Yes, it blew the freaking speakers out.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
It blew but to answer your question, no, I have not had anybody using a normal thing as long as they have stayed within the proper power limits. And I'll tell people what the power, because I'm one of these people who tell you what it really is and not, you know, like all these people say, oh, I need 1,000 watt, I need 1,000 watt amp. you don't need 1,000-watt amp. 9 times out of 10, you're using a third of a watt. You know, you just need the dynamic punch of the dynamic range for more, in some cases you'll get up to maybe 50 or 60 real watts. But a lot of these receivers out here that say they're 150 watts, you put them on a watt meter, they're closer to 15 to 30 watts. They're nowhere near what they're rated.
So when you're designing your speakers, what are you looking at? Are you looking at, do you prefer to design for 8 ohm, 4 ohm, 2 ohm?
Almost everything is 8 ohm.
Okay. So
I have some stuff that I've designed for 6.6 ohm, but that's a slow. Well, let me rephrase that. I have some my special edition subwoofers. They're 4 ohms, but they had because you have to get enough punch. So I designed them at 4 ohms. But anything when it comes to my regular speakers, they're either going to be 6.6 or 8 ohm.
So when you're designing an 8 ohm speaker, what most of the 8 ohm speakers that I've seen, they're what do they call that? I just lost it. It's on the tip of my tongue. What's it called when they measure it from 1 meter? Their
sensitivity.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Their sensitivities are pretty low when you're looking at 8 ohm speakers. So what are you looking to design your sensitivity at 1 meter for your speakers?
Well, it really depends on the speakers. They go anywhere from 87 to 102. So it really depends on what speaker I'm designing. But like like the 653 in-wall, it does not have a back box. It's 87. It's fairly low.
That's kind of a good question. What in fabrication of the speaker in the manufacturer, what determines sensitivity, and is there a target that you're trying to hit, and how in the construction of the speaker do you achieve that?
Okay, a lot of that is how a lot of it can be done, and the sensitivity a lot of times is how the voice coil and the formers are made. That's how you can get your sensitivity up. But the thing is, it depends on what you're wanting. Sometimes you want the sensitivity to be lower so you can put more power to it. It really depends on what you're designing for. I mean, I have speakers that are very high sensitivity, and I have ones that are lower sensitivity. It just really depends on what you're designing for. Because if you're designing for a theater, you're probably looking for somewhere that's going to be in the mid 80s is going to be your best sensitivity, unless you're doing a very large power room or something where you're using horns and stuff and want your sensitivity to be really high.
Yeah, because a lot of the speakers, other brands that are out, they're 93, 96 dB sensitive. I know there's another speaker that has a big horn on it. It's over 100 and some dB sensitive, right? I'm not going to mention other speaker brands because we're talking about yours, but and so that's a question on, if I want an LCR, if I want to design an LCR speaker, right? What goes into that? What do I say? Okay, let's just call it the Golden Rule Theater, right? A 15 by 20 theater is the Golden Rule Theater, right? So what do I look at, cabinet wise? What am I looking for if I'm going to design a speaker for left, center, right? Or I mean, how much power are you looking to put into those particular speakers?
Well, I like for LCRs for that size room, I like to be able to make sure it can handle 150 true RMS.
Okay.
And most people don't understand 150 true RMS is way higher than people think it is. It gets very loud. You can get those things very loud at 150 watts is really loud. You're up around 100, you're up in that size room, you're up about 105 to 106 decibel, which is actually damaging your ears.
Right. So, reference is sought to be at 85. So let me ask you that question. Where do you place reference at for what people call
83
reference?
to 86.
Okay, so we're in agreement with that. Some people say less, some people say a little bit more. So when you're shooting to hit that reference, let's call it the golden rule golden rule, right? So if I'm sitting in a theater room that's 20 feet deep, I'm probably going to be sitting about 14 to 15 feet back, right? So 1 meter is 3 feet. So that's 5. So I'm going to lose 3 to 6 decibels every 5 feet, right? So, and obviously we got to double the power of the amp, to be able to get the double the wattage to be able to get to that necessary reference volume at that seating position, right? So
Your DP level, that seating position, yes.
correct. Yeah. So what is your sensitivity then on the LCR speaker? You're saying at 150 watts, you want to be at reference at that particular say a 15-foot location. What would you say the proper sensitivity for a speaker should be in? And we know all rooms are different, right? Some are going to be deader.
Well,
Some
that's a really hard question. I can tell you what dB level it should be at that level, but the sensitivity of the speaker, I'm not sure I understand your question, to be honest with you.
So if I'm shopping for speakers, right? I have
well, I think this, from what I understand, the sensitivity is just a rating on how efficient the speaker is.
Right.
To get the reference volume level at that location is going to be dependent on what you feed that speaker.
Right, the amplifier.
That's correct.
To still get it there, but that doesn't change the sensitivity. You just need more. You need less or more amplification.
I didn't quite understand him because that's not the sensitivity is a sensitivity. The other
I was working it
level
backwards
at
basically.
Such point.
Yeah, I was working it backwards, right? So, if I'm sitting there at, if we say, because you said that you want around 150 watts to go to those speakers, right, for it to hit that sensitivity. So that's what I'm asking. How do you achieve, that particular sensitivity for the LCRs, or are you matching, like we just said, or are you matching the amplifier for it? Basically, I was working it backwards, basically.
Now, what I do is I design the speaker so that it will work with just about any amp out there, and I try to stay within the standard area. It depends on the situation. If I'm custom building a speaker, then I will basically figure it out for that particular size room, what it should be. And in most cases, a lot of that sensitivity can be changed in the crossover network as well. You can do a little bit of manipulation there, but basically the higher your sensitivity is, the way I look at it this way, if your straight sensitivity right off the block, the higher the number is, it's going to give it more volume, but it's not going to give it near as much clarity. That's why you want to stay down in the 80s or low 90s unless you're using a compression or a ribbon horn or it depends on what you're designing. All these are kind of, I didn't know I was going to get into technical stuff because I was afraid a lot of people would get over there. I don't want to get really too technical, but yes, to answer your question, you want your sensitivity to be a certain thing because you want to be able to add the volume that you want. The higher the sensitivity, yes, you won't have to have as powerful of amplifier, but by doing that, you're going to be I just don't think that high sensitivity is going to be good for most theaters. And because what you want to do is you want the best sounding quality you can, and you may have to add a little bit more volume. But most amplifiers, especially if you're dealing with a true amplifier and not just a receiver, they've got plenty of power to push it to whatever level you want.
So in your speakers, I mean, what do you prefer for tweeters? Compression, ribbon, soft dome? What's your preference?
I like soft domes a lot.
Yeah, so I've always liked soft domes.
I use a lot of very good quality soft domes. I have one person who corrected me, said, "Oh, this is wrong." I said, "No, I said I happen to have a soft dome, but it has a titanium cover. And they said, you can't have that. That's impossible. I said, well, that's what I have in this particular speaker. And they said, well, you need to change that on your website because that's impossible. I said, I'm sorry, that's what I have. It is a soft dome tweeter, and it has a titanium cover on it, and it does extremely well. But it's something I designed.
Oh, that's cool.
And to answer your question on design of drivers, I love woven carbon fiber. I was probably the first company out there who designed the woven carbon fiber thing and driver that was back in the 80s, and you didn't see woven carbon fiber come on the scene until probably in the late 1990s, when a lot of people were trying to pick up and use it. Mine was self-venting. A lot of times what you find
Was it a B&W that was doing the
cones
first?
where they stick carbon fiber on top of it, and the cones are not really carbon fiber. They're actually paper with carbon fiber stuck to them.
Okay. So as far as the tweeters, you like soft dome, mid-range. Mid-range, what are you looking at in the mid-range?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Like
but I'll-
material wise, what would you prefer for a mid-range as far as is that also carbon fiber? Is that
I
aluminum?
love carbon fiber. I also use I use a paper that is backed by a poly backing with paper that I use in my 963s on it. But almost everything else I use, it will be carbon fiber for my mid ranges and for my my woofers and my mid ranges. When it comes to subwoofers, I usually prefer to go with what's called non-woven carbon fiber, which is a smooth carbon fiber, and it's extremely light and very responsive to start and stop. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like it, but it costs a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take a look at the lineup here in a little bit. I just thought I'd ask you some design questions, because it's not something that we've had the opportunity to ask someone, an actual speaker designer, hey, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts, and what do you look for in certain components and certain speakers? So, if I were to ask you about like your in walls, what are you looking for when you're designing an in wall? Are you looking?
Well, when I designed the 963, I was designing it to make women happy. Men wanted these big speakers on the floor, and women didn't want them on the floor, but they wanted the great sound. And that's how I came up with the 963. It has my patented resounding chamber technology, which turns sound around. So basically, it sends 96% of the sound out the front of the speaker, and 4% goes to loss. If you know much about speakers, it's usually 70 forward and 30 back. And so this is a pretty neat little thing that I did. That's one of the reasons that the in wall that I have, the 963, is this phenomenal of in wall. I'll put it up against, I'll put the 963 up against any ABS in wall out there, period.
And those are sealed enclosures, right? For the
Yes, that's
963?
part of that. The resounding chamber technology is inside that sealed enclosure. Yes.
So this is by the way, this is some of the work that GTL Sound Lab has done. So we're looking at for the 963, 30 to 200 watts, 8 ohms sensitivity, 8 ohms, 90 dB. Got like you said, the 9-inch woven carbon fiber with a 2-inch voice coil. Let's see. As far as the tweeter, what are we looking at on the tweeter here? High range pure titanium silk dome tweeter is exactly
Yep.
what he just
That's
mentioned.
where they tell me that can't be done, but it was. Here's something I designed. Nobody else out there has that.
Very good.
And 23-pound speaker.
So do you have a picture of the back of these on here? Let's
Sure.
see.
Let me go show you some things. I'm going to turn the lights up in this room a little bit, and I'll actually show you the actual stuff. And here, just one second. I'm switching over to the back
cool.
camera now.
Sounds good.
Okay, come on, go to back camera.
Yeah.
It didn't do it.
Go to press the front camera button. I think we have it mixed up. That's what we figured out earlier.
Okay. Does that,
There you go.
did that
Yep.
get it?
Yep.
Hey,
Okay, let me turn the lights up in here. Okay. There is the actual, let me see if I can get it high enough. Why is it not? So
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. That's the 963 on the front. And I'm going to flip one over so you can see the back of it.
Okay.
And that's what the
Oh,
back
there we
looks
go.
like.
Nice. And what's the depth of that? Is that going to fit in any standard stud bay?
It fits in yes, it'll fit in a standard 2x4 stud bay. It will go horizontally or vertically.
It's just like a polycarbonate casing or what?
Yes.
Hey, I've been getting upgrade ITs for my in-wall speakers.
What's
They
that?
say-
Oh man, you
I've
already got
explored a lot
it.
of options out there. The options are open.
I was going to ask, as far as cabinets, as far as if, not on the in walls, but like in floor standings, what type of materials, like MDF, or how are you bracing? What are the thought processes behind cabinet builds and
Okay.
trying to make it as inert and vibration free as possible? What kind of steps are kind of
Okay,
involved in
I'll
that?
go, I tell you what, let me go through this stuff really quick with you over here.
Sure.
and
Yeah,
then
let's
we'll
do
switch
that.
Back to the other, and I will discuss that.
No
The
problem.
other end wall I have, the baby brother to the 960. I have to get further back, I guess. It's hard to. That's the 663 right there.
Okay.
This has this resounding chamber technology in it as well. But that's the actual speaker, and its back looks exactly like the one I just showed you the back of. And then this was for many years. This right here was my #1 surround speaker for a long time. But the 63 has become my big one that people use for surrounds more than anything else now. And then, like I said, I'll answer your questions about other stuff in just a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically, these are my Atmos speakers, or whole house speakers, and this is the 883. It is an older design type, but it is phenomenal. I used to use it for whole house and for people who are audiophiles. And
Is
they're
that
very
tweeter
easy to
movable?
track right now because they're older style? Yeah.
Is that tweeter aimable?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of okay. And
Do you make a back box enclosure for those speakers?
I don't sell one, but there are a lot of manufacturers out there that make the back boxes. I had some a while back, and I haven't done them in years. When I ran out of them, I have not made any more because there were so many different companies out there who had them that I didn't
sounds like
really.
that sounds like a 3D print for Paul.
There you go. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, I can design in CAD anything.
There you go, Paul. Make some back boxes.
Okay, let me see if I can switch it back to the front camera for you, and then see if it'll go back. Did it go back? Nope.
Yeah, press the back camera now.
Okay. There we go. It's not okay. Now you were asking me a question. Now in just a minute it's going to get very light. I'm going to turn the lights down again because what happened last time was so bright you couldn't hardly see me. Okay. You were asking me what materials I like for freestanding. I like marine grade MDF, and especially for larger speakers, I like to use the 1-inch MDF because it's extremely durable. I also then can coat it in just about anything. Usually, even if I want to make something like out of zebra wood or oak or something where they want a solid, they want something fancy, the interiors are usually still going to be made by made with MDF because it is so solid and it doesn't expand and contract like normal wood does.
Mhm.
So I usually use that as the for my base. I've built everything out of every kind of wood over the years. For stability, the MDF, the marine grade MDF, and that's not particle board. People say, "Oh, you're talking about particle board." No, I'm not
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
different,
particle
yeah.
board. Particle board and MDF are not the same thing, and marine is even better than that because the marine, you can actually coat it, seal it, and put it outside, and it'll work.
You think of something like
marine-
Sierra Pines Medite or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medite 2 is here. Yeah.
1-inch MDF. Here's some. This is for your top of the line, right? Your
Yeah,
top of the line
that's
floor
AP
standard.
Platinum. That one's made out of 1-inch MDF, and those were used in two different world famous winners of CEDIA winners. The 2016 and the 2014. Those speakers were used as LCRs.
So when we're looking at the design here, right? Because usually you don't see two tweeters very often. Sometimes you do, but not very often. And so what is the design purpose for the two tweeters in this particular brand?
The reason I use two tweeters is because tweeters put out 1/3 the volume of your mids and your basses. And so therefore, if you want to have actually your tweeters hit you with the correct thing, you need that in this particular design because the bass is so extreme and the mids are so dead on. You need this to make sure that everything is a nice level response. I mean, if you look, there may be an actual, if you go down here in the gallery at the bottom here, there may actually be a chart of how those, I think there is, if you look down, I think there's a chart, yeah, that shows you the actual response chart. So you can see how smooth those things are. And, they just get a little bit of a peak because there's two tweeters, but usually you see these things drop off around 12, you start losing 12 to 14, you start losing your tweeters.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going with horns. And when you're going with horns, then it's going to usually be a spike of 6 dB starting around 5,000 and staying up there.
And your frequency response here, was that done in an anechoic chamber or was that just done?
Yes, that was. See, that's the other thing is I used to send these things off and have them tested. I have not had anything tested lately, but that was actually done in a chamber. Yes.
Okay. Man, those are, so you don't get any crosstalk, any comb filtering or anything like that, designing it like that?
No. I've had no problems with them whatsoever. Like I said, matter of fact, I have a pair of those. I have a pair of those in the room I'm in right now. Like I was saying earlier before the show really started, this is my solarium. It is full of glass. And if you know anything about speaker design, a glass room with marble floors is not what you want to try to do. Use as a listening room. I can use this as a listening room, and I've had audio files. Oh, that's impossible. I said, okay, fine. I said, come here and sit in my home theater chair. Bring your favorite CD and tell me what you think. And they go, oh my freaking gosh, that's their response. I mean, like I said, you were just showing there, and I just recently had an audiophile who, that's what they did. They run a 2-channel shop in Europe, and they just wrote me that review that was up there a minute ago.
Okay,
That,
I'll put it back
we
up.
were going through, you rolled through there and showed a picture of a 2-channel room, and then a review, and he was going, oh my gosh, he said, everything I have in there, they're not pretty. He said, your speakers are not very pretty, you know, but you know, they're not very pretty, but he said, boy, did they sound good. He said, and I liked them enough that I replaced my far more expensive speakers and put these, a pair of these in my own personal listening room.
So when it comes to home theater design, right? How easily are these? You know, can I use these as an LCR and then put the end wall in? Are they going to be timber matched or timbre matched?
They're timber matched. There are certain groups of them that are completely timber matched. The 963s are timber matched to work with the AP Platinums, the ones you're looking at right now. The AP Platinums and the 963s are perfectly timber matched, along with the AE82 for Atmos. All those are timber matched. They all use basically the same. And on the woofer side, they basically all use the same exact shared technology. So the timber's dead on.
Yeah. So you guys, if you want to read this review that's here, it's on GTLsoundlabs.com.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at the AP Platinum under products. So yeah, I mean,
So that's, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Abe.
I was saying, I saw some of the graphs. So do you have for most of the high speakers your on axis polar diagrams that kind of shows what they do? And I'm always curious to look at those graphs. And I think you showed some of them. I guess I'm assuming you have some of that information for some of the speakers online.
I do on a few of them. On the 8.2s, my in-ceiling speakers, I know that I have done one for those because we needed to, you know, I had some people arguing on the distribution of how everything was, and so I actually had them tested, and so that's the results of LMS in a chamber room.
Yeah, because I know that can really make a difference. The more on axis,
I still carry
they're on
the
axis.
AP 21133s, but those are designed for very large rooms, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I can flip on some lights in just a second. I can show you the room that I'm getting ready to, I can show you this. This room is 99 feet long and 30 feet wide. And and they fill that room up. The 21133s will fill that whole entire room up with perfect sound.
Wow. So
they're designed for your larger type rooms.
So
That's
this horn here, is that, what are you using inside of that?
It's got a 50-ounce magnet on it. It is it has a 2-inch voice.
Okay.
There's something that I designed back in the late 70s and kind of went away from because it was more for live entertainment type thing. And I was able to do some modifications so that it really worked out extremely well for larger type rooms. And I don't recommend that for small rooms. Those were kind of over the top for that room right there that this, you know, that you're showing right there.
Mm-hmm.
They really shouldn't have been put in that room, but this particular person was older and they wanted it loud, and it is.
So the AP 9651 looks like it's it looks like it's the same drivers, but you know, you're scaled back to the one tweeter, the one mid-range, and the one woofer, right?
Yeah, it's a 9-inch woofer, a 6.5-inch mid-range, and then a 1-inch, yeah. And that is probably one of my hottest selling LCRs. People love those because they'll do a room really well. You were asking what the matched ones for that speaker, you can use the 963s or you can use the 663s. The timber match is not quite perfect with that and the 663s, but they're darn close because they share the same mid-range and the same tweeter as that actual speaker right there.
92 dB sensitive at 8 ohms. That's pretty sensitive for an 8 ohm speaker, man. It really is for sure.
Like I said, my speakers are a little different from everybody else's. To
Yeah,
be honest with
for
you.
sure.
I mean,
For sure.
well, I'm not a normal. It's just this is not like the thing is I'm a cottage industry company. I'm not a JBL. I'm not Eclipse. Used to be my biggest competitors used to be thing you probably don't know. Snell used to be a big competitor.
No, I remember Snell.
California,
Yeah.
Cat used to be a fairly large competitor of mine. It's right now it's Pre-Listen, Top Shelf Wisdom, and Lindor Steinway are my biggest competitors. When people were building these rooms and stuff, that's kind of where.
So, and these are the 751. So, give me just a question because I didn't see a dimension. I may have just went by it, but when we're looking at the AP Platinums, right? How
Yeah.
tall? How tall are those?
They're
Are
roughly
they
4 feet tall.
4 feet tall? Okay, and then we move to the 99651s. What?
They're 28. I think they're 28 inches tall.
Okay, and now we're on the 751s here.
Yeah, under the specification, you can find it.
I did something's wrong.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so 11 inches wide by 21 inches high. Okay.
How do I get back to the chat? For some reason, it says studio chat 5 people. Start conversation. Do I hit the middle button or something? I don't know.
You're here.
No, you're here already.
I don't see
chat.
anything.
He's not seeing the chat.
I'm not
Are you-
seeing anything. I don't see any of y'all anymore.
Okay, so you might have swiped out of the screen, so you just need to hold down and swipe up, and then you should see a list of windows there.
I think he's on an iPhone.
He's on,
right?
yeah, he's on an
iPad.
iPad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've done. Says start a conversation, chat. I don't know. Should I get
Did
out
you-
and get back in? Or?
Did you hit the
Yeah.
chat?
You can do that if it's easier.
Yeah, if it's easiest, just do that.
Yep.
Yeah, so these
So I think Ike's going to upgrade here shortly.
yeah, I'm talking to Mr. Gary about sending me some of these down so that we can
Yeah, I'd
do
like
a-
to hear him. I mean, like those.
Yeah, I'll
those
definitely
ones-
like to hear them. But
Yeah.
they look
For sure.
impressive just going by the specs and some of those awards. Look
Yeah, I want to ask him a minute. Does he make those? I mean, well, I guess I'll ask him when he comes back on. Does he manufacture those?
Yep.
Hey, there he is.
Sorry. I don't
No, all
know
good.
what I did. I was just going to I actually have the AP Platinum and the 9651s in this room that I'm
Okay.
in. I was just
All right,
going to
yeah.
show you that, but for some reason, when I tried to change the camera, that other thing happened.
No problem.
Let's see.
Yeah, I was going to ask them. And are all these manufactured in North Carolina?
Yeah, all these are manufactured in North Carolina. That's right there is the AP. That is the AP Platinum there. Right above it is the 9651.
So we had a question with regards to the double tweeter is how do you overcome the room conditions with that speaker design?
Okay, you're 1 second. Okay. Your question was, how do I overcome the room condition?
Yep.
I'm not quite sure I understand your question, but I'm going to try to explain. You said the room conditions. Can you kind of tell me what you're talking about? I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, but
No.
Yeah, it's a question from the chat, but I suspect it has to do with maybe the design.
Maybe he's talking
for-
about comb filtering because of two
with
tweeters
the-
near
yeah,
each
that's
other.
what, that's what I think it is. It's
Maybe
with
it's
two
just
tweeters.
I wouldn't
They're
call that.
probably referring to comb filtering, But Flat Bridge Doopy, if you want to elaborate, please do, and we can get Gary to answer your question correct.
He
I
said,
really don't understand because I've never had a problem with this. It's just, it basically they're, as long as both of the tweeters are the same exact DB, you have to have matching tweeters. You can't just say, and trust me, when you're manufacturing a tweeter, they're going to vary. No matter what you do, they're going to vary. And you've got to make sure that you put matching ones together when you put them in there. And if you're using a LCR, all 6 of those things have to be the same. You can't say, oh, I'm going to use this one, which is one way, and this one's another way, because then your sound will not be proper.
Yeah, I think they're alluding to the fact that
it will not give you the sound you're looking for.
So that, having 2 identical speakers, that if they have certain frequencies that cross at the same point, that they have cancellation.
right. Yeah. It's comb filtering. That's what he said.
Comb
He says
filtering, so
exactly.
I'm thinking that's what they're alluding to, this question, but I'm assuming that's not an issue. I mean,
I've never had that as an issue. No.
I'm just guessing what.
Yeah, because flat bridge Doopy, he said exactly, guys. So yeah, he was referring to the same comb filtering that I asked, question that I asked. Because it's kind of like when you design the horizontal, when the other companies design the horizontal center speaker, right? Sometimes you get comb filtering when you do MTM design, right? So you'll get, with 2 of the same drivers, you'll get some comb filtering. And look, some of it may be inaudible, guys. So comb filtering is not always audible, right? It may be in an area to where, you can't even hear it, right? So just to give you guys, some perspective on that. Would you agree with that, Paul and Gary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the comb filtering normally happens between the distance of the center of the mid-range to the tweeter based on the crossover. So that's just a physics thing. So is what ended up happening is on an MTM, you have, your mid and your tweeter. So the distance between here and I might be getting this wrong here because it's been so long, and here are the same. And when they meet, they cancel each other out. But that's not a thing when you're going vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not, yes, it is, but you would literally have to figure out exactly where, like, oh, let me get right in between this one little wave spot.
Yeah, it'd be almost a single way.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and the thing, to answer your question is,
now as far as like the, 2 same things, that's not the same as comb filtering. Like that's not the, because you have 2 sounds that, like if your left speaker makes a tone and your right speaker makes a tone, they don't cancel each other out, right?
Right.
It's all on how the distance relative to the crossover points and what the speaker's producing.
Yeah, or everything would be called noise canceling.
I don't know if there's a picture of the AV Platinum Center channel in there. I don't know if I actually have that in there or not. It is a horizontal one, but to correct that, the tweeter there's a mid-range tweeter, and then there's a tweeter mid-range, and they're crisscrossed. And that's what I had to do to straighten out any kind of weirdness in the sound on ones going horizontal.
Yeah, I do have a question on the dual tweeter. Is it more for power output or for dispersion?
Both, but to be honest with you, both. But it's mainly more for dispersion.
Okay.
But you can put a lot more power to it because of all the drivers that your soft dome tweeters can take the least amount of power without blowing them.
Now, can these
So you're saying
speakers
running them
be
at 1 watt or so?
bi-wired to their
What's that?
crossover? These speakers are the one that we were looking at before with the dual tweeters. Can they be bi-wired or bi-amped, or is there a preference
they're
or
not set up for
recommendation?
that, no. I can set them up. I've set up many speakers that way for custom stuff, but none of my pre-designed stuff is bi-amp.
And what's your thought process on all that? On the people who like to bi-amp and
I think of bi-amping when you definitely you want to build a subwoofer into a subwoofer into a regular speaker. That's when you want to bi-amp. That's when you have to when you really want a certain increased amount of bass over what is classified normal. Then you want to bi-amp it so that you can create that extra deep bass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily correct, but it is what certain people want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm always curious to get people's opinion on that, because everybody's got an opinion on bi-wiring.
That's my opinion is based on physics more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, no, it's good to hear from somebody who's in the field, who's dealing with on a practical
I've
level.
done bi-amping many times. Matter of fact, we did just recently last year. We did an outdoor barbecue for someone in Napa Valley, and for their barbecue. And we built them a really beautiful piece of custom stuff, but it had to be bi-amped because this person said they wanted to be able to hear the bass on their yacht, which was about 95 feet away, and they wanted to be able to hear it. They wanted to hear everything there. So I was able to, and I use the same horns I do in the 211-33s in that barbecue. And
Wow.
we ended up putting 4 of my SB15 SEs in there, and we bi-amped those things. And
But as far as bi-wiring, not a real big necessity for that.
No.
Okay. And I'm assuming to speakers, something like that, you're running 12 gauge, 10 gauge?
something like that.
Yeah.
I prefer at least when you're running nice LCRs, 10, at least 10.
Yeah.
When you're using, I mean, like when I'm doing the AP Platinums, I suggest people wiring 10. When I do this 12 for the for your like the 9651s, and I say never ever go lower than 14 on anything.
Absolutely. I don't go below.
And people will do
12.
smaller than that all the time, but you lose too much. People don't understand.
Too much resistance.
Speakers is physics, to be honest with you, and you get so much loss. Anything under that's 14 gauge and below, you're just losing. The loss is just too much.
So let's dive into that. And since you did design these speakers for audiophiles, and I'm probably going to get you in trouble here, but what are your thoughts on on various audiophile grade speaker wire, or that you see at the shows and at everywhere that's being charged? Do you think they enhance the sound of your speakers?
I'm going to answer your question. Speaker wire from your wire to your speaker, no. Unless if you've got good quality oxygen-free copper going from your banana plugs up to your speakers, you're not going to hear anything different. Now, talking about RCA or XLR cables that go in between the equipment, yeah, huge difference. You can, there's a lot of difference there, but the actual speaker wire, nah. As long as it's good oxygen-free copper and it's heavy enough, you're not going to hear the difference. Are you going to hear the difference whether when you've got a decent RCAs in between them? Oh yeah, there's a huge difference between, say, like transparent audio and the standard, RCAs. I mean,
So
there's like night and day difference.
So you prefer like a balanced interconnect?
Most of the time I use unbalanced. I like a balanced. If you got, it really depends on what you are doing and what. If you're a real audiophile, I like the unbalanced. If
Mhm.
you're doing home theater, a lot of times I like the balance because they're a little easier once you get everything hooked up to get everything to sound a little bit better. I think the balance work
Yeah,
out better for home
balance
theater in a lot
for
of cases.
theaters has been a default for us. We just don't want to take a chance.
Yeah. So,
Right. So
but-
you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Audiophiles, I still prefer RCAs, unbalanced. But for a theater, I prefer the XLRs.
and
balance.
what's the reasoning why you choose that being an audiophile? Is it tonal? Is it, what would you say the reason?
It's tonal. It's the clarity of what you get, what can be produced through it. It's just because of the way that your cables are usually considerably thicker than they are with the XLRs. So it's just I was going to say I was going to go grab you some cables and show you the difference. But I mean, I don't sell cables. That's something I don't do. But I do know the reasonably priced cables that work very well. You don't have to spend a fortune. People think you have to spend a huge fortune. I'm not going to name names, but there are certain brands out there that you're paying because that name's stamped on there.
Right.
Yeah, to be honest with you, but there are other cables that are just as good at a fraction of the cost.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
And anybody who's watching the show, if you need speakers for your theater, want to talk to me, feel free to contact me. At my, when we're not online, whatever. Be good to call me because I'd love to talk to y'all about speakers.
Yeah, for sure. No, we'll definitely get all your socials out there and how to contact you and everything else. So let's just go through the speaker lineup that you got here. We'll go through that online. Let me grab that, pull that up here. So we'll start off. Well, we started off. We'll just go right down the line. You showed us some of these in ceilings, right? So these
those
are
the 8.2s.
for the Atmos, right? And
Yep.
are both of these are they both aimable?
Not that one, but the other one is the 653Cs are not aimable.
Okay.
The one you're looking at right now is not aimable.
All right. And what would the difference between the two be? Just size?
So basically, it's the size and the grills. This one has the magnetic grills. The 8.2s still do not have the magnetic grills. You still have to insert the grills on the 8.2s.
Okay. All right.
And if you're using things like pot lights or stuff, they actually look better than the newer design that has the magnetic grills.
Is this this is what it looks like in the ceiling here?
Yes.
I mean, they look just like a can light almost,
Yeah,
like
it
you
looks-
said. Not
looks
a
very
can light, but
flush.
yeah,
Yeah.
very flush. Yeah. And then we got the in walls. Let's take a look at the in walls. We already looked at this one here. This is the gold
The
standard.
963, that one right there is on par. Are anybody familiar with the Lindorf Steinway?
The D960.
No, I'm trying to think of it. Model A. Oh shoot. Anyway.
Yeah,
I
they
think
look-
it's called Model A, but Peter Lindorf thought they sounded pretty phenomenal.
So you had Peter Lindorf over?
Yes.
Very
It's
nice.
been a while back, yes. And Rod Rogers, before he passed away, helped me on the design of the 963s. Like I said, I'll put those up against any Enwolds like that style at all.
And the Lindorfs are like my favorite. The Steinways, those are like my favorite speakers. Everything
Yeah.
they make, I love them. I enjoy everything that they
Yeah, they're
make.
pretty
So
nice.
I am really impressed that you are comparing these to them. So that's a standard there, right there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And so that's not an M2M. That's actually got a woofer, a mid-range, and a tweeter.
Now, can this be turned horizontal also?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can't go in a standard bay horizontal because they're too long. You have to design the room so you can put them in.
I see. And these ones, you said you would use them for side surrounds?
Yeah, those were my number one seller for sides and surrounds for many, many years. And when those are phased out, when they're gone, they're gone. You know, I've still got a fairly decent stock of that, but those are basically an older style, but they are extremely. I've sold literally thousands of those over the years. And there's
this
my
is-
HT goals, and the HT goals you're asking about timber matches. The HT goals are your LCRs, and the HT bronzes are your surrounds.
So what's the dimensions of those? I like the looks of those.
They're 4 feet tall, basically.
Yeah, so
And
they
they're
remind me of like
20
the
they're like
dot,
20
the,
some- the dimensions will be on the site.
yeah, they remind me of like the dollies, the 280s that are like super tall. Yeah, 48 inches in height. That's cool. That's going to cover a lot of area behind your screen, especially when you have a large screen like that. What was the purpose for designing these ones so large?
For bigger rooms and for rooms where they wanted to just because when you use a larger screen and you want to make sure that there's plenty of punch, and so that's why I designed them. Like I said, there's the bronze. That's the version. That's the ones I use for surrounds with the
Yeah, it's a nice
HT
looking.
goals. And both the HT goals and the HT bronze are really truly home theaters. They're not really an audiophile speaker. They're much more of a home theater speaker.
So are you using the same drivers in these as you used in your floor standers?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so we're back to the some of the small. This is a smaller floor stander, right? That we're saying that.
Yeah,
that
that's
can be
actually
hidden.
that's actually that's more of a
Yeah.
bookcase / stand speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I was just seeing for the hidden portion. Let's take a look at your subwoofers. We've seen the floor standers. Let's take a look at the subwoofers here. So I'd imagine with the SB12, it's a 12-inch driver.
Yes.
And when we talk about subwoofers, we ask what you were looking for in a in a regular woofer and your mid-range and tweeter. So what are you looking for quality wise in a subwoofer?
Again, it's the layers, the voice qual, the formers. It's the way you connect your cones to your surrounds so that they stand up to the abuse. Because trust me, they're going to be abused because you'll be putting a lot of power to them. And like in a minute, you'll be bringing up the SB15. I have to put bracing in there, 4-way bracing, because you can blow those things apart.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are some of the theaters that those subwoofers went in.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
a
so
little
we're
bit of
looking at-
first impressions. I think that's a first impression theater, right? That one, that gold one,
Yeah.
Which one?
the gold one, that one.
First impressions is that I thought, if I'm not mistaken.
It looks familiar. It look-
Yeah,
look-
I think that one was actually done by Double Diamond Audio Salon, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, double
This-
diamond audio. Yep. Installed in
Yeah,
USA.
That's what I thought. That is a very old theater. He's
But it
passed
also
away
reminded me
now,
of, like, I
but
don't know if you
own
remember
that
First
company,
Impressions out of
passed away
Miami.
now.
They did a lot of the red and gold theaters like that, and it just reminded me of one of those theaters that
Yeah,
they designed.
He did that long. That is really not a new theater. That's been around a while. Yeah.
So 92 pounds for this 12-inch subwoofer. It's got some heft to it for sure.
They're heavy.
So when you're designing the cabinet for this, is it a double a double baffle of plywood on this?
It's
On the front?
actually 1-inch MDF with 2 inside supports.
Okay.
And so it's heavy duty. And I've never been able to blow one apart yet. And I put some serious amount of power to them, enough to probably blow the drivers in cases of not blowing apart. I have seen subwoofers blow apart, trust me. I've seen people, not mine, but I've seen people blow subwoofers apart. Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at 24 hertz. Is that anechoic also?
Yes.
Okay. What about in room? What can we get in room for those? Do you know?
You talking about the SPL or?
No, the frequency. Usually when you go in room and you corner load and stuff like that, you may be able to get them to drop a little bit lower than the 24 hertz.
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, in room, I think you're going to be closer to 20 with those.
Okay. Let's take a look at the 15-inch version.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There was a special version of the 12 here. The S. The
That's what I thought you had up. I thought you had the 12 SE. No, that's the high output. Yeah, that's a high output vented. I personally cannot stand vented speakers. I like sealed,
Mhm.
but a lot of people really like vented speakers.
Yeah, the port.
But,
What's the port tuned to the in this one? Do you know?
you talking about what is the speaker tuned to for the hertz ratio, or are you talking about the? I'm not understanding your question.
For the port tune, usually you tune it to whenever you have, like you said, a vented or a ported speaker. There's a certain frequency that you're trying to tune it to.
Yes, they're that one. If I'm not, that's the 12 version. I think it's tuned to 20.
Okay.
It'll say, what does it say there? I don't.
Response hertz 22 to 300 hertz is the response.
22. That one was set for 22.
Okay. This one's 108 pounds, so even heavier.
Yes.
Wow.
My subwoofers are very heavy. They're not cheap either, because the drivers are so expensive for those things. If you've gone and looked at, what real subwoofer drivers cost, they're not cheap at all.
Yeah. I mean, they're very form fitting. They don't seem to be taking up a lot of extra space. It looks. I mean, they look nice. I love the look of those.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, got a nice clean look to it.
Uh-huh. All right, now we'll move to the 15-inch ones. You got any thoughts of doing any 18-inch?
I have a 21.
Oh, my bad. All right,
I 21 max, and all this is for people who are insane.
There you go, Don.
That is me. I'm a bass head.
You're a bass fan?
Yeah, for sure.
They're more. To be honest with you, you feel a 21-inch more than you hear it.
Right, and that's what I look for in a theater. A lot of us are looking for that tactile bass. When you have an explosion, you want to feel it, or a gunshot. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of curious what Gary's opinion about there's a kind of this whole genre of moving into infrasonic subwoofers and creating a separate channel and splitting the LFE and purposely building speakers that can replicate those lower frequencies just to get more of that. What's your opinion on that? I don't know if you've seen a lot of that going on, but I know that's a trend.
I've seen it. I really haven't given it a whole lot of thought, because already with my subs, if they're not low enough and they don't shake you enough, then you're deaf.
So this one here,
it's like someone who came in here about a year ago, they said, "I'm going to have to up my game. I've never heard subs sound like this." And I said, "Well, that's what a sub's supposed to sound like. It's not, He said,
you would be surprised where Paul comes from. These guys are building subwoofers on top of inner tubes just to be able just to be able to rock themselves around like a roller coaster ride. So
Yeah, there's people here that have
Yeah, well,
they got
Four
yeah,
or
we got some
five.
crazies.
4 or 5
18s in a room.
eight 18s, 4 21s. I mean, it's crazy.
You do know they're going to be deaf when they give them another 10 years. They'll be deaf.
They'll be deaf, but they can still feel it. That's all they
Yeah.
care
You still
about.
feel the bass, man.
Oh, they
Sub-
can. They can
It's all that
Subtitles and
matters.
bass.
Subtitles.
That's why you have
That's the
subtitles.
future of
man.
all of us, huh? Subtitles and
Yeah,
bass. That's funny.
I
Yeah.
still have my ears tested every year, and I still can hear from 18 to 22 flat. And so
Really?
I've protected my ears. When people want something that's going to be played at 108 decibel, I've got earplugs in, and I've got
Yep.
and I've got shot things on, and I have to test those with a computer. I can't do them. I build all my speakers by ear. So that's another thing. Computers do not sound thing like a human ear does. So
Yeah.
most
Well, I know
speakers
Dr.
you
Floyd
buy
Toole always
were
said there's
tuned- were
nothing
tuned by computers and not
more
by a human
precise
ear.
than the ear brain.
What's that?
I said Dr. Floyd Toole, I don't know if you know he's always talking about there's nothing more accurate than your ear brain. You know, just
Yeah. But
So you design
that's an 8-channel amplifier that's only available in China.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Why not bring it to the U.S.?
Do you want to know the truth? I don't
Sure.
think it's good enough.
Okay.
That's that's an agreement I have with one of my Chinese suppliers there. I helped them design it. I heard it. I said, I'm not happy with it. They said, we're very happy with it. Why don't we just give you royalties and we'll sell them? I said, fine. So they send me a royalty check once a year for them, but I've got to put them out on my site. Like there's
Yeah.
going to be another section here for karaoke, and that's only available in China as well. And that's another thing I get royalties for my karaoke stuff. I helped them design the stuff, but it's not. I don't bring it in the United States.
Okay.
Now, if karaoke got big enough in the United States, I would definitely bring the electronics in here because it's really nice. The
So
speakers
what-
are pretty much junk as far as I'm concerned.
What would the difference be?
Because you don't have to have, for karaoke, your speakers don't have to be top of the line to produce the karaoke stuff that people want. You know?
I don't know if you
So
heard
they
me sing.
manufacture
If you
there,
heard
they're
me
just
sing,
paying
you would
royalties
definitely
for the
want
name.
a top of the line speaker.
I don't
I
think it would
personally
help.
agree. I don't think if I was gonna have karaoke speakers, I'd have this 965 ones as my karaoke speakers.
From all the screeching from my voice, you would want to have the top of the line speaker. So I did exactly that. I didn't blow the speaker. Oh man, what a lineup! I mean, this is fantastic. I really
Well,
really appreciate
I'm
you.
hoping that somebody here is gonna want to buy some speakers.
Well, look, man, we
But before you even go, you also have amplifiers, right?
yeah, we just went through that.
Yeah,
Didn't
we
we?
just went through that.
Yeah, the one thing we haven't done is the different. If you want to go through the gallery, some of the award-winning speakers, we can do that. There's one
Sure.
called Gallery at the top of this thing. And what's that? That one should That's the 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Is there something in particular that you want me to go through, or just all of them?
No, we're just gonna let you see. Just gonna let you see the theaters. That was I think right. You're right. I think what you're looking at is the products and stuff. There's Jerry.
There's
Mack.
Jerry.
Yeah, I think I think right now you're in the product section and not in the. You were talking about since this is a theater hub. I just thought you might want to see some of the
sure.
theaters.
You just want to go to home theater then? There we
Well,
go.
if you want
there
to see
you
some
go.
of the theaters that my stuff
Check
is
that
in.
out. Yeah, that looks cool.
A lot of these have won CEDIA from 2013 through 2017 in the Asian world. We were either won the best or the global best. So that one right there was the 2016 global best home theater in the whole world.
I've seen this picture before too. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it quite a few times.
Mhm.
Did not know where it was from, but I'm
Right.
impressed.
So if you go through it, you can, there's another, that's another Zini theater that has my stuff. That again is back from, Double Diamond, something double, I don't remember who did that theater. But, I thought you were gonna be looking at the ones that won, but these are just
Yeah.
different theaters,
we'll go to them too
okay.
for sure. We'll start ceiling action there. Like it, classic. Oh, I like the railings
I
on the
this
side of
one.
here too.
I like
Look at that. That's nice. That's your Gone
That-
with the
that-
Wind
that's
theater
an H-
right
that's
there.
that's got HT goals in it.
I can watch all my old movies there.
Yeah, you feel right at home there. Like,
King and I.
And that's
sit there
Malay,
watching
that's
classic.
from Malaysia, that's from, that theater's in Malaysia right there.
Oh, cool.
That's in China, that's in Malaysia. Again, that's the same one, that's from, that's Malaysia. That right there, that is the
man, that's a
reviewing
lot of
room.
seats.
That was Tony Scott's reviewing room. From
Wow.
years and years ago.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seats across.
9 seats across and 5 seats up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
It
a
was-
that's
and
a
that was- Like
theater.
I said, that was a reviewing room. Now that was in Florida. That theater's in Florida right there.
Hmm.
That was
Oh, you can go listen to his speakers,
I
man.
can go listen to that. Yeah.
That's what
All right,
you
let me go to some of the. You want me to go to world's best or award winning?
yeah, whichever one. That if you want to just flip through those and let you see the world's best one.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. We get some more pictures. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. Yeah, we've seen this before for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's my speakers there behind the screen.
Nice.
Dang.
There we go. Oh, look at those argon amps. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very nice.
2016 global winner.
Yeah.
Very good.
And 16 was the last year they actually went and did and actually tested the stuff. After that is already sending reports to, and CD decides on reports that are sending. But from 13 through 16, they actually went out. If they, the top 2, they'd go out and actually go see the theater so they know which one won.
So they traveled to Malaysia and China and everywhere else
Yep.
for that, huh?
Yep.
They don't do that no more.
No, they don't. They quit that in 17.
Yeah.
So we did have a question about room correction. So, what in these theaters do you? Obviously you you design the theaters for the speakers for the room, right? On some of your custom.
These were done. All the ones in China, I supplied the speakers, and then the speaker designers did the room. And
Okay.
some of them have a lot of correction. Some of them have very little correction. It just depends on. Now, the ones that I did were they're the ones that I actually helped design. There's very little room correction in them because
Okay.
I did the correction in the speakers.
You did the tweeter you and the crossovers and stuff.
Yeah.
So how does one design the speaker like that, the crossover? I mean, what do you? I don't know if you'd be giving away trade secrets there or not, but like if I got too much reflection from my front left speaker, at a certain, let's just call it 140 hertz or 200
Now, see, I've
hertz.
kind of tried to do that before. Basically, if I'm doing a custom theater, people have to explain to me what the floor is going to be, what the walls are going to be, the ceiling height, any specialized lighting they're going to do. All that stuff goes into the physics of that room. And then what I try to do is do the best I can. There's always going to have to be some correction, but I can try to eliminate a lot of having to have a lot of extra acoustic panels and stuff,
Mm-hmm. So how what would you? I mean, is it like you would have to use more capacitors, more resistors, or you know?
The quality of them, and I change for each speaker. Sometimes I have a different crossover points based in there because of the reflection. Okay, you're not going to want quite as much reflection at this hertz level because of
Right.
this. So I changed the custom do the crossovers is what really that. I don't do any real changing in the actual drivers at all. The components pretty much stay the same, and everything is pretty much all done in the crossover stuff.
Very cool. I love the idea of designing the speaker specifically for the room.
Yeah,
I've
that's
done that. That's where I used to shine all the time, was to do that. I've done very little of that
Recently.
yeah.
Very nice. That one looks cool.
Yeah, that
So-
has 963s as the LC. It's got the it's got the 963s for LCRs, and it's got the 653s for surrounds and rears. And that was before Atmos. That year was before Atmos.
Very
yeah.
nice.
I mean, like I know for us, typically, when our thing is we do all the acoustical analysis on the room to try to eliminate as much of the room's issues.
Mm-hmm.
With looking at the room modes, the predicted RT6 decalcs, everything. We want to eliminate the room as much of being the issue, and then look at the speakers. Just have good quality speakers with great on-axis dispersion.
Yep.
Still, because we want those to perform. We want to take the room out of the equation. as much as
Exactly. That's
possible.
what I'm trying to say. And you're
Right.
doing exactly what I'm doing, to be honest with you. You're doing that first, and then I'm just kind of making the speakers to fit that particular situation that you've already done.
That's
And
cool.
so
yeah.
usually I've got somebody, an integrator who that does this. I mean, I've never been an installer. In all these years, I've never really been an installer. That does not mean that I haven't flown all over the world to make sure that the final stuff is right, and say, hey,
Right.
whether you didn't do this quite right, fix this. But,
That's cool.
Very nice. Very nice. So, how can if someone's interested in your speakers, Gary, how can somebody reach out to you to get a hold of you? Let me see. I'm going to pull up the contacts here. Let me see. If you want them to call you through the web, just go to your website and contact you. How would you like them to contact you? We lost your audio, Gary. Gary, I'm sorry, but we lost your audio.
Uh-oh.
Try muting him and then unmuting him. See if that works.
But I'm sure he's got a good contact page on the website. Does it have a phone number? And
He's probably not hearing us either.
Yeah, I'm gonna
oh, there's
text
his
him.
phone number. Yeah.
I'll just text him here, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. The woes of the internet.
hmm
I just told him that we lost his internet to log back in.
Yeah.
Gary, I don't know, but we can't hear you, sir. Let me see if I can make a phone call.
Maybe he can try going back out and then coming back in again and see if
Yeah.
that helps.
If you just kick him out, he'll probably just join right back.
Yeah, audio just dropped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an internet thing.
Hey, we lost your audio, sir.
Yeah, just leave and come back.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, so just go in and come back out, okay? All right, bye. Or vice versa, go out and come back in.
Yeah.
Something like that.
One of those two things.
Yeah.
Man,
Some direction.
So Gary said that he's going to send me some of these speakers, so I can't wait
I
to
kinda wanna,
actually.
yeah.
Oh, man. You're
I'd
probably
like to
gonna-
kind of hear some of these. He's got me intrigued. I want to kind of see what's under the hood.
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. You know,
I do
this-
like those in-walls they had. That's
Yeah, some of them are very nice, very clean looking, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm back.
I'd love to hear 'em.
No problem. We got you. We got you. I don't know what happened there, but so tell us again how someone can reach out to you if they have any questions about your about your products. I got it pulled up here, but do you want them to
The
contact
best
you?
way really is to email me at gary.little@gtlsoundlabs.com. And I'm sure that's probably in there, but that's, that's the,
Well, you have a
That's-
sales at GT Sound
Yeah, we
Labs.
got
that's
I'm
fine.
assuming that
sales.
goes to you as well.
The sales will come to me eventually. Yeah, like I said, but if you want to talk to me directly, it's gary.little@gtlsoundlabs. And I am the founder and president of the company. And so, the salespeople, I only have 2 other employees right now. I used to be quite big before the pandemic. We used to have a big commercial building, and basically I've been running the company out of my house, but my house is a little on the different side. It's an 8,300 square foot ranch. And so there's lots and lots of demo rooms here. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Maybe we have to make a trip up there.
Yeah, no kid.
Well, the problem is I'm looking at putting the house up on the market soon because it's getting pretty big. When there was 5 kids at home and a wife at home, it was different. I don't have a wife and I've only got 1 child anymore. So so it's getting kind of big for that, but
Mm.
I'm going to miss it dramatically if I sell it.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Did y'all want to
The-
see the 211 3?
Yeah, absolutely. Show us anything you
Yeah.
got, man.
Okay, let
Awesome.
me see if I can get some light on that room right quick.
And I put the email in here, gary.little@gtlsoundlabs.com, so they can get right to you if they have any questions or any interested in you designing them a large
Custom.
custom
That's pretty cool.
speaker design.
You can put your name on it.
There you
The Don Don. Double D Don Don. It's gonna have 3 subwoofers.
Let me get a little more light in here because I don't think you can see everything. Ugh. Okay.
There we go.
Wow. Wow, that's wild. That's a cool entertainment space there.
Yeah,
For
walk
sure.
back and walk back so you can see how big. Like I said, it's 99 feet long by 30 feet wide.
Dang.
go. Yeah. You watch a movie while you're in the jacuzzi. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually you can turn. There's a 90-inch TV right at the jacuzzi.
Wow.
But that's a 220 inch thing, and I've got the
At 220, from it being so far away, the size
a lot of sound.
that size just dwarfs. The length of the room just dwarfs that 220. I mean,
It looks like a 55-inch on the wall.
so what are you using what are you using to project onto that 220, Gary?
Believe it or not, it's a it starts with an O. They gave it to me. I want to say Olympic, but it's not Olympic. Oh shoot, what's the name of it? Oh shoot, I cannot remember. They gave me, it was their first 4K that they had. It's not that great a projector, to be honest with you. And I
Well,
wrote.
maybe
I
we
wrote
better
it
not
up.
mention the name then.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said maybe we better not mention the name then.
Yeah,
Does the job.
since they did give it to me for free. But that's
Man, and that's 220 up there, huh?
Dang.
Yeah, this is a big room.
Yeah, definitely. Man, what made you? So is your home custom built?
Yep, it took me 7 years to build it.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
And
Yeah, it's
so-
Someday,
Tell what time it is.
someday when we're not on live stream, I'll tell you why I'm having to sell it.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. So yeah, no, I mean, you got I'll take you off a center stage here so that you're not walking
Yeah,
through.
this
Oh,
is-
okay.
Yeah, like I said, this is the solarium room.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's nice. It's 15 feet wide and 32 feet long. So
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Gary was like, I'm gonna build me an indoor pool and jacuzzi. I'm not gonna mess with the cold
that
weather
outdoor crap.
outside.
Right, no
you
kidding.
gotta understand. And they when I'm trying to sell it, they say my house is worth nothing because I have an indoor pool. I'm going, you're full of it. Do you realize how expensive that room was to build?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's about what people want now, right? You know, we can build $1 million theater, right? But if the consumer doesn't want it, it's not worth anything to them.
Yeah.
I literally had a guy that has the same exact model house as mine, to where we have a third car garage, and I knocked down a wall to make my theater a little bit bigger, but he used that garage as his theater. And everybody that when they came looking at his house, everybody said, where's the garage? You know, they're looking for the garage. They go to the house and they're looking for the garage. Where's the garage? Well, the is the garage through the theater? They're asking, is the garage? And nope, the garage is the theater. I said, oh, I wish you would have left the garage. You know, so it actually cost him some sales for a little bit because
Oh, yeah. You got to
people-
find the right buyer. Because,
exactly.
like me, I'm into motorcycles as well. That's one of my hobbies. Yeah. And if I don't have a garage, I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Like I said, you'd love this house because it's got a five car garage that you can put 10 cars in.
Oh,
Wow.
10 cars. Nice.
Wow.
Okay. So you got a tandem. Yeah. Like a double
Nice.
tandem. Yeah. Yep. I've seen those before. Yes. I would be jealous of that garage.
Yeah. You
You're
got
trying
you
to
got
tell me
any
this house isn't
you got
worth
any beauties in
anything.
there?
I need to take 1/4 of what it's appraised for, and I keep telling them I can't do that.
Yep.
So Miguel says, have you ever designed a coax or concentric design speaker?
Yes, a coax, and that is the 8.2 is a coax.
Okay.
Nice.
And then your thoughts on, I don't know if you're going to be familiar with these because like you said, you're not an integrator, but Dirac is in a lot of, it's a room correction. So basically is what the correct, what it's asking about. Dirac versus AccuEQ. Says he's getting more bass from AccuEQ overall and better listening experience than Dirac. I'm currently running Polk R700s with Polk Center surrounds and 4 heights.
I'm not that
AccuEQ.
familiar with those. I'm really familiar with Perfect Room. I don't know if you were familiar with
Room
the
Perfect,
product
yeah.
called
Room Perfect. Yep. I'm very
Yeah.
familiar with it. That's
Yeah.
Lindor's
Feel
product.
right toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Dirac.
all know that one pretty well.
Mac has it and Lindorf does,
Mm-hmm.
and you can, both of them have it licensed to use.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with both of those.
Yeah.
Because I've used both of those, and
And
I've
it's good.
used,
It's good. I've had good results with it.
yeah, like I said, there's certain ones, and then there's one that's I'm trying to remember there's one other one that Marantz used in the 8805, and I can't remember what it's
Odyssey.
called. What?
Odyssey.
Odyssey, yeah, and it was fair. It was nothing like Perfect Room, but it was fairly decent.
Yeah.
So the AccuEQ, that's Onkyo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Onkyo. So what I guess, Chris, what you got going on here is you probably have the RZ50, and you're going back and forth between Dirac and AccuEQ. I'll be honest with you, my preference that I really like Dirac. As far as
Well, on the Onkios with the Dirac, there's the active bass management, but there's also just regular bass management as a selection. You have to select that. And then normally you have to, unless you're listening always at reference, your Dirac's going to try to flatten your whole response, even your mains, to flat. So you'll need to do like a little 5 dB boost, 3 to 5 dB boost in the little curve preference. And then Dirac is really, really good. That's my favorite, but it is more of a integrators type of, system, because you gotta know a lot of more stuff and tweak a lot more of it. It's not just a auto run and hey, yeah, if you're just doing that, absolutely AccuEQ probably is giving you perceivably more bass. So
yeah, it does seem to tame the bass.
Phase correction on AccuEQ.
Not to the level that Dirac does. No,
Dirac,
you're not getting rid of nulls. As a matter of fact, AccuEQ, I mean, I'm not saying this is the case, but it could be something where you're getting like a boost that Dirac is taking care of. So you're hearing a boominess at 60 hertz, thinking, oh man, this sounds better. Maybe it's a 5 dB boost at 60 hertz. That's not flat. So you have to use, if you're tweaking around and geeking around, you have to use a measurement mic and Roux to validate what you're perceiving.
Yeah, Dirac definitely has Dirac, whichever one has actually much better advanced bass correction.
I mean, actually, I ask Gary, is there any particular amplifier brands or anything that you have that you like to pair with your speakers, or that you just like the way they make your speakers sound? Anything that stands out to you?
Well, over the years, I've used for audiophile stuff, Hague, Macintosh. Used to be a company called Proton, doesn't exist anymore. I've used Carry Audio, and Mark
What about
Levinson.
Corel?
It's been, when it comes to audiophile, when it comes to home theater, I've liked the Bryston has been. Bryston has done some pretty good stuff for and some. Bryston has probably been that, and some no name brands for home theater that I found that worked pretty well. Have been some of the better ones. ATI had for a while had some decent stuff. It just depends on it really. Amplification is very important, and a lot of it's trying to tone the right amplifiers to the right speakers for the right room. And one amp, it doesn't kind of fit all,
Right.
So in my opinion, you can have your go-tos, and I try to tell people this is a list of things that I've used and I've tested with, and in my rooms around here, I have, like I said, I have Carry Audio, I have Macintosh, I have the original.
But they do have a
OLED
bearing on the
from
speakers.
Proton.
They do have an impact on the quality of the sound. They color the sound. Every one of those colors the sound just a little bit different than the other.
Exactly.
And just kind of curious which one's kind of warmed your ears a little bit better than the others, as far as, I like the way that particular amp sounds with my speakers, or with that particular.
I really like I like the Macintosh. I really like the Carry Audio, and I really like Proton. They don't exist anymore.
So when you say Macintosh, would you say the tube amp?
And hey, I really like that one. Hagel, however you want to Hegel. It's, yeah,
Hagel, yeah, Hagel.
Yeah.
Hagel, yeah.
I mean,
That's
when-
curious,
when-
because I imagine that's kind of a personal thing, and
it
you
is,
know
it's
your
a very
speakers better
personal
than
thing.
obviously
Yeah,
anybody.
because once you
Yeah.
get to that level and you've got the right interconnects and stuff, then it becomes a personal thing, what you want for that the certain warmness or the certain sound tones and stuff
Right.
you want.
So would you say that you prefer a tube amp for the out of the Macintosh, or what do you prefer the regular integrated?
Let's say,
Well, I like the MC300. They don't make it anymore. It's been long gone. But the MC300 was my favorite, and it was not a tube amp. I have had the 100-watt tube amps. They are a little too warm for me in a lot of cases because they actually color the sound a little bit too much.
Mhm.
But they do have a very warm sound. But for me, I prefer the MC300 to that.
Okay,
I
very
mean,
good.
some people really love the tube amps, but you have to want a more warm. You want a more warm tone. It's not going to be quite as accurate, but it is going to be a much warmer tone.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And as far as like what would you say that you use for your source? Are you using a record player? Are you using a streamer? What are you using?
Most
for
of
your
the
source?
time, for me personally, I'm using a CD player, or I'm using a turntable. 9 times out of 10, when it comes to my car, like I stream in my car and I stream things, but I don't ordinarily use a streamer. At one point, I had an MS300, my Macintosh streaming unit, but it
Mhm.
still was nothing like listening to a properly done, CD. It's just like the same thing as streaming a movie and watching either a 4K disc or a red
Mhm.
ray disc.
Right.
There's a difference. The sound is different. The picture quality is different. It does make a difference. And I know that things are going away from ever using 4K units, that everybody's just doing streaming. But one day I said, listen, I don't like how this sounds. So I went and found my disc and put it in. It was like night and day difference in the sound quality.
And are you using Macintosh CD player? What CD player are you using?
I have I have several, but I use my Macintosh. I also have a vintage Nakamichi that I love, and I've got a Hague. I've got the Viking Hegel, Hegel.
Hagel.
Hegel. But all of those I love. They all give you a very, very good sound. And then I've got I've got 2 turntables. One of them's a vintage Denon that I've had for years, and I have a MC1000 Macintosh cartridge in it, and the other one I have is an MT20 Macintosh turntable, and then I have in it I can't even tell you what thing it is. It's the company it's a Japanese stylus, but they're very expensive stylus. But
Mhm.
again, a lot of the stuff I have over the years, a lot of manufacturers have made me special deals. Hey, will you write me a report? Will you review what you think of this and
Right.
stuff? And so I've gotten stuff over the years by doing stuff like that,
Mhm.
and
That's
writing
cool.
reviews and stuff. Sometimes they don't like the reviews I write because I'm going to write the truth,
Right. Of course.
In most cases, they like it very much because, I do really like it. There's certain things that I have not liked, but
Well, that's what we hope for. I mean, you've been very honest and open with us about, what you look for in a speaker, how to design it, and then even your opinion on some of, like cables and other products. So we definitely appreciate your honesty on that, and it says a lot because if you have somebody that's just going to blow smoke, then they're building stuff, so that says are they going to blow smoke about their products too? right? So I really like the fact that you're open and honest about, other areas of the hobby, and speaker cables and stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, if you're not honest, I would, if I was a dishonest person, I'd be a very wealthy person. Let's just put it this way.
I hear that
I
one.
look at things, would I pay for this? If I were buying this and I wanted this, would I pay for this? And if I wouldn't, then I'm not going to try to sell it to you. I'm also not going to try to sell you something you don't want, or just because I happen to have this in stock. That's
Right.
something I'm just not going to do.
Mm.
So I love what I do. I've been doing this for so many years. It is my joy to help people enjoy and get to hear quality sound.
Well, Gary, we definitely appreciate you joining us on the show this evening. And like I said, guys, if you're interested in GTL Sound Lab speakers, make sure you reach out to Gary at gary.little at GTL Sound Labs. And then he's got all his other contacts also on I gotta move my screen back up here on his website. He's got a sales team there also. So, but if you'd like to talk to Gary personally, you can reach him at gary.little at gtlsoundlabs.com. We got a phone number here, Gary. Does that go directly to you or does that go to an office?
That one probably goes to the office, but it will get directed to me. Any phone calls that come in, like I said, no one answers the phone. If you get a voicemail and say leave a message, if this is about speakers, leave a message, and either someone will call them back immediately or I'll call them back immediately. So it is. That's the other thing. I'm only big enough. I've always wanted to be small enough that I can give fast response back to people, and I try to give people real customer service. And so, we're not, like I said, we're a cottage industry. We're not a huge company. Like I said, I'm no wisdom, no Provis, and I don't have huge pockets, so, but I just like to build quality product.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely understand that. So, guys, please, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please shoot us an email at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Please do all that great subscribe, share stuff, all the YouTube stuff that you would do. And until next time, lights down, sound up, and don't blame us for your next upgrade. We'll see you on the next show. Thank you, guys. Gary, you can hold on, okay?
Yeah.
Later, guys.